December the 26th, 9:44 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Karma? That's right, Manfred von Karma. He's the best prosecutor there is. He hasn't lost a case in his 40-year career. He is a god of prosecution, right? A god. Not a single case? He'll do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. Sounds like someone else I know, Edgeworth. You don't understand. I mean, he'll really do anything. Manfred von Karma is a man to be feared. That's quite a claim coming from someone who forges evidence. He taught me what it really means to prosecute. What? Just picture a prosecutor as vicious as me, multiplied by a factor of 10. So, was he a teacher then, Mr. Edgeworth? Something like that. And now he's trying to get you found guilty? What a creep. Oh wait, maybe he's planning on losing on purpose to help you out. Not a chance. He hasn't lost once in 40 years. 40 years. He's as ruthless as me, times 20. It was times 10 before, you know. That's pretty ruthless. Like I said, he's a god among prosecutors. I guess that's something like Mia was to me. Speaking of Mia. Maya? Uh-huh. We could really be using Mia's help right now, don't you think? Oh. I can't. Sorry, I tried, I really tried, but I couldn't reach. You couldn't reach? I think it's because I haven't been training. My powers are weak again. Oh man, what bad timing. I'm really sorry. I'll try my best. I hope so. What are you whispering about? Oh, it's nothing. Well, it's time. Let's head in. Cut Maya a bit of slack, Phoenix. Do some stuff yourself. December the 26th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. von Karma, is the prosecution ready? Fool. You seriously think that I would stand here were I not completely prepared? Right, my apologies. He's even got the judge scared. Very well, your opening statement, please. Decisive evidence. A decisive witness. What else could possibly be required? Nothing, of course. That should be fine. The prosecution may call its first witness. What's with this guy? Is he royalty or something? How am I supposed to fight against this? I call the detective in charge of this case, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Okay, Gumshoe's first. Let's see how this goes. Describe the incident, now. Yes, sir. Detective Gumshoe looks nervous. Please take a look at the map. Oh, I haven't seen that before. The murder happened late Christmas Eve, around midnight. There was one boat in the very middle of the lake. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's not the very middle of the lake. There were 2 men on the boat. Then there happened to be a woman camping here on the edge of the lake. At 12:10 a.m. she heard 2 pistol shots. Then the boat started to move. It went towards the boat rental shop. Overhead map added to the court record. Testify to the court about the arrest. Now. Wait, Mr. von Karma. Yes? Actually, I'm the one that's supposed to be handling these proceedings. Wrong. There is only one thing you need to do here. You will slam down your gavel and say the word guilty. That is your role. Yes, of course, you're quite right. No, he's not. The arrest of Edgeworth. A man called into the station around 30 minutes after midnight. We headed to the scene of the crime as fast as we could. That's where we found Mr. Edgeworth. Now, I didn't suspect him of anything at all. But the next morning a body was found in the lake. So we had to arrest Mr. Edgeworth. Alright. I see. Very well. Begin your cross-examination, attorney. Now. Alright. Let's go. Let's press him on everything as usual. Man called into the station around 30 minutes after midnight. You received a call from a man. Yep. But you said there was a woman camping there. She was the one who heard the 2 gunshots, right? That woman and the man who called in the reports are 2 different people, obviously. Different people? There were 2 witnesses. Their testimonies were quite similar, however. Today I've summoned the woman who was camping. A woman who was camping, lots of heart. What happened next, detective? We headed to the scene of the crime as fast as we could. How fast? How long was it between receiving the report and your arrival at the lake? Well, I'd say it was about 3 minutes. That's pretty fast. It is. Our motto for the month is get there quick. At any cost. Detective, you will refrain from casually revealing department secrets. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I look forward to your next year's salary review. There's so much to look forward to these days. This is no time for dejected daydreaming. Continue. Yes, sir. That's where you found Mr. Edgeworth. What was Mr. Edgeworth like when you saw him then? Well, from what I saw he looked pretty relaxed. Not like a murderer at all, really. Detective, the court requires the facts, not your opinion. How many years have you been on the force? Facts only, detective. Hard, cold, objective facts. Yes, sir. Man, he's got his share of objections. Okay, you didn't suspect him of anything at all. That's an opinion again. Why didn't you think he was suspicious? You should know. We have a deep, trusting relationship with the prosecutors. Detective, the court isn't interested in your musings. Deep, trusting, poppycock. I've never heard so many flippant comments from an active detective on the force. Detective Gumshoe doesn't look so good. Continue. Now. Next morning, body was found in the lake. Go on, do you have an... Actually, do I have an autopsy report for it? I do. 1 bullet shot to the heart, yeah. Did you find any clues on the body? A single bullet was recovered from the body. It was shot through the heart, fatally. Judge, here's the bullet. It didn't strike bone, so its shape is well preserved. Very well. The court accepts this bullet into evidence. Alright. Fired from a .22 caliber pistol. Alright. Why is that? Well, we found the murder weapon in the boat. The murder weapon? A pistol. Detective Gumshoe. That is a vital piece of information. Please revise your testimony. Right, sorry, Your Honor. Their voices are too similar. The murder weapon we found in the boat was decisive evidence. What about the pistol made it decisive evidence? Ugh. He has the same evil laugh as Edgeworth. There were fingerprints on the pistol found in the boat. There were clear prints from Mr. Edgeworth's right hand. What? Order, order. So, Mr. Edgeworth's fingerprints were found on a murder weapon. Yes, Your Honor. Judge, this is the weapon in question. Accepted into evidence. Pistol added to the court record. Murder weapon 22 caliber fired 3 times, bears prints from Edgeworth's right hand. So where did the other 2 bullets go? And, Lotta said she only heard 2 pistol shots. Members of the court, we now have the pistol used in the murder and the bullet found in the body. Detective? Yes, sir. Was the bullet found in the body fired from this pistol? Yes, the ballistic markings on the bullet match the pistol. Hey Nick, what does he mean, ballistic markings? Shocking. To imagine someone here does not know something as basic as ballistic markings. Nick, he's glaring at me. Very well, I will explain. Actually, Judge, you do it. Me? Ballistic markings are like the fingerprints of a gun. The barrel leaves distinctive marks on each bullet it fires. You can examine these ballistic fingerprints to see which gun fired the shot. It's quite accurate. Indeed. This leads to one inevitable conclusion. The bullet found in the victim's heart was without a doubt fired from this pistol. This pistol which, as you may recall, was covered with the defendant's own fingerprints. Order, order. This is bad. This makes it look like Edgeworth did it. You don't say. Well, Judge, I'd say it's almost decisive, yes. Honestly, I could declare a verdict at this point. However, you wish to hear the witness speak, no doubt. Very well. I am somewhat fatigued, and so I will take a brief break. I will call my witness after the recess. You're fatigued after about 10 minutes? Which will last 10 minutes. Judge! Yes? What are you doing? A 10-minute recess, now. But wait, Just bang your flimsy gavel and get on with it, man. Yes. This court will take a 10-minute recess. Who's running this court anyway? Karma, obviously. December the 26th, 11:09 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby, number 2. Edgeworth, what's going on here? Your fingerprints were on a murder weapon. And that foggy photo makes one thing clear. The only one who could have shot that man was the person in the photo. True. Was that you in the boat? Yes, it was me. What? But you must believe me, I didn't shoot him. Then who did? I don't know. You don't know? Weren't you right there? I heard a gunshot from very close by. Then the other man fell from the boat. I can't say why, but I thought at the time that he had shot himself. You mean it was a suicide? That's the only explanation I can come up with. Huh. How am I going to convince anyone of that? Say, Maya? Huh? What? Any progress with Mia? Oh, sorry, it's no good. I know. I'm no good for anything, am I, Nick? If I can't call my sister, I might as well not be here, right? Yeah, you're useless. No, of course not. I need you here. I can see you're always trying to help out. Even if you don't actually help, it's the thought that counts, right? It's okay, Nick. You don't have to make me feel better. I don't know anything about trials or defense. What's more, I'm a spirit medium who can't even contact spirits. Oh, everyone has their off days. I mean, I've just been getting lucky lately. But you never know when my luck is going to run out. God damn it, Phoenix. Really? Whoa, right. Don't jinx this case any more than it already is. Yep. It's bad for my heart. Oh, sorry. Oops. Court is back in session. Mr. Von Karma, call your witness. Yes. Will Miss Lots of Hearts take the stand? Lots of Hearts, you are a research student at a university? That I am. Good. Begin by telling us what you saw the night of the incident, and don't add anything trivial as subjective. Understand? Y'all need to learn some manners. Understand? Yeah, I understand. Very well. Your testimony, please. Witness's account. It was Christmas Eve, just after midnight, I reckon. I was in my car. I heard this bang come up from the lake. When I looked out the window, I saw two gents in a boat. Then there was another bang. There wasn't nary a thing on the lake but the boat. Enough. Huh? Judge, she happened to take a photo of the incident. This is that photo. Accept it as evidence. Well, this is a surprise. This looks like the very moments of the murder. Order. I will remove people from this courtroom if I do not have order immediately. As the witness testified, she looked at the lake when she heard the shot. There were no other boats on that lake. So the man in the boat with the victim must have been the one who shot him. Yes, it was the defendant, Miles Edgeworth. Order. I will have order. Well, Judge? The evidence is decisive. I have very little doubt about this case. Very well. This court finds the defendant. Wait, Your Honor. I haven't cross-examined the witness yet. A cross-examination? We have photographic proof. What question can there possibly be? This photo is worth 1,000 words and they all read guilty. You lose. Or, do you claim to have found a contradiction in her testimony? Very well, if you have to, you may cross-examine the witness. You will only flounder and ask meaningless questions. You will fail to find anything. And then I will have you held in contempt of court. Nick? Contempt? Contempt of court, you know? I guess I understand. Well, what are you going to do? Do you really think there was a contradiction with the facts in her testimony? I think there was. I think I noticed one little thing. Wow, I'm impressed, Nick. I didn't notice anything. Right, let's take him on. Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this. I understand. I will cross-examine the witness. Very well. I pray for your sake this isn't a waste of time. Well, the most obvious contradiction is that the gun fired 3 times, and Lotte only mentioned 2 shots. The question is, where do I? Yes, there were, Phoenix, there were. The question is, where do I get my point across? Let's just press her on anything. Just after midnight, you say? In other words, it was no longer Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day. Huh? Yeah, well, yes. I know you want to find contradictions, but really. I hope your next contradiction is a little more relevant to the trial. Witness, continue your testimony. This is so not more relevant. Why were you camping there anyway? I'm a research student at my university. I was taking pictures to use in my research. What research? This all sounds suspicious. Miss Hart, could you be more specific about your research? What does the witness's motive in camping by the lake have to do with this case? The answer is nothing. I object to this line of questioning. Objection sustained. He sustained his own objection. Wait, now I'm the one who says that. Well, then say it already. Objection sustained. Thanks for nothing, Your Honor. Alright. So you weren't looking at the lake at that time? Nope. I looked after I heard that noise. She said that already. I asked you to find contradictions, not leisurely chat with the witness. Ah. Yeah. Could you clearly see the two men? Just look at the picture. Clear enough for you? Uh-oh. Wait a second. I wasn't asking you about the photo. I was asking if you saw the two men. Yeah, well, of course. The witness has testified that she saw them. There's also a photo. You'd best look elsewhere for your precious contradictions. He jumped in quick. He's hiding something. Were you watching the very moment the shot rang out? Well, yeah, sure. You're asking meaningless questions. Meaningless. Contradictions, Mr. Wright, not meaningless babble. Von Karma, I think I hate you. He's trying to keep me from talking to the witness. To what end? Are you sure about that? Yeah, sure as a country gal can be. That sounds pretty sure. How come you're so sure? Well, heck, I scanned the whole lake. Scanned the whole lake? It almost sounds like she was more interested in the lake than the boat. Miss Hart, you... Mr. Wright, the witness has answered the question in full. No need for further questions. Objection sustained. That's what, sustained. Yes, of course. Great. Enough. I think we heard all we need to hear, Mr. Wright. It seems you are unable to find a contradiction in the testimony worth noting. But, Your Honor. You keep your promise. Mr. Wright, I am afraid that I will have to penalize any further outbursts by holding you in contempt of court. And if that happens, you'll have to leave the courtroom immediately. Understood? Uh-huh. Nick, Lotta's testimony is fishy, Nick. Real fishy. I know what you mean. But if I can't say anything, what can I do? I believe we've covered the evidence sufficiently to make a decision. Then pass your judgment. Very well. Mr. Miles Edgeworth, please take the stand. Who was that? It was me. Maya. Is something wrong? Do you need to use the facilities? No, I do not. Lotta Hart, your testimony stinks. It's unclear whether you were actually looking at the lake. It's highly doubtful that you actually saw Mr. Edgeworth. Tell us the truth. This is a matter of life or death. Lotta, did you really clearly see Mr. Edgeworth that night? Did you see him fire that pistol? You will stand down. The court does not acknowledge the defense's outburst. Answer me, Lotta. What's the big idea treating me like some kind of criminal? I saw him, I swear it. I saw Edgeworth. Enough. Judge, declare the defense in contempt of court. Yes, of course. I'm sorry, but you were warned. Guard, escort Mr. Wright out of the courtroom. He is in contempt of court and must leave. No. Wait. I was the one who made the outburst, Your Honor. Nick is innocent. Huh. What's the difference? All that remains is for the guilty verdict to be declared. Isn't that right, Mr. Phoenix Wright? No. Wrong. What? Did you hear what Miss Hart just said? She said she clearly saw Mr. Edgeworth. That was not in the testimony. That changes her testimony, and I have a right to cross-examine her again. Order, 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 order. You're in contempt of court. It's too late for wild claims. Judge, sustain my objection. I'm sorry, Mr. von Kalmer, but I cannot. What? Miss Lotta Hart has made a new testimony. The defense does have a right to cross-examine her again. But he is in contempt of court. No, I am. If you're going to arrest someone, arrest me. Very well. Maya Fey, you will leave the courtroom immediately. Nick, I did what I could. You have to do the rest. Good luck. Maya. Okay. I care not for this melodrama. Listen well, Mr. Wright. I do not tolerate badgering off my witness. I'm running out of time. I'd better find a contradiction here, or else... Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. Okay. Well, what about the other man? You cannot expect to be allowed to blithely ignore your promise, Mr. Wright. I believe you claimed there was a contradiction in the witness's testimony. Well, find it, if you can. Okay. Never gotten a penalty for pressing, sure. I don't know if I can find anything in that, but I can't squander Maya's efforts either. Well, let's look at this. It was clear as day. And that probably isn't going to help. I mean, it's quite clear the only piece of evidence I can present are the lake photo and Lotta's camera. Everything else is useless. It might be the map. Like, theoretically, if the boat were in a position where she couldn't see it from the camping van, that could be the case, but that's not something I can judge from this picture. Like, if, for example, let me show you, if the camera, for example, was here, looking out this way or something, and the boat was here, and she was like here or something, she couldn't see past the forest towards the boat. Like, that would theoretically be possible, but from what I saw, I think the boat was here, and it's realistic to be able to get a view there. So it's either the camera, which I don't really see as a contradiction, or the photo, which, I mean, if you think about it, that photo is closer to the boat than Lotta was, because Lotta was in the car, which is further back, and you can't even see anyone on the photo. Like, you can barely make out there's two people standing on a boat and one is holding a gun. And we're only saying one is holding a gun because it looks somewhat like a gun and the guy was shot with a gun. That doesn't have to be a gun. That could be anything. But that's like the only thing of evidence. Like, the autopsy report has nothing to do with this. This has nothing to do with this. Neither does this. No. Yeah, it has to be the picture. Got you. Got you, Miss Hart. Finally. Oh, what? You got what? Look at this photograph. The photo I took? The very same. There's something I want you to see in this photo. It's quite clearly visible. The fog, Miss Hart. So? This picture was taken with professional high-quality film, correct? Yet even it could not capture the faces of the men on the boat. Yet you claim you saw Mr. Edgeworth. How? What? What? Mr. Wright has a point. That's why I told her not to say that in her testimony, please. Yet now she has said it, Mr. von Karma. How could you possibly see Mr. Edgeworth? Explain yourself. Miss Hart. What? Could you see the defendant that night? Oh, of course, I said I could and I meant I could. Then please testify as to the circumstances of your sighting. I did it. I finally found a hole in von Karma's carefully vague testimony. Alright. Yeah, right. It was a cold night and the fog was thick as grits. So once I was finished setting up my camera, I got back in the car. Still, I brought my binoculars with me. When I heard that noise out on the lake, I looked with my binoculars. See? No problem. You used binoculars? Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. This one better be good. Okay. You know what? Just because I can, I'm gonna put a safe in here. I don't plan on using it, but if I should fail, I don't want to go back through the whole case. It was cold night and the mist was thick as grits. So, how could you see Edgeworth? Now, just hold your horses for a second. You hasty Yankee types would never find a gal where I'm from. Defense attorneys have trouble with that as it is. Nobody loves me. So once I was finished setting up my camera, I got back in the car. Your camera? Yeah, it's got an automatic. Yeah, expected that. The issue we are concerned with is Miss Hart seeing Mr. Edgeworth. The camera has nothing to do with this at all. Objection sustained. He's not letting her answer any of my questions. Binoculars? Yeah, binoculars. Yesterday you mentioned that you were out looking for shooting stars, correct? Well, yeah. Wouldn't you need a telescope, not binoculars, for that? I've got doubts about your camera too. Was that really to take pictures of meteor showers? Obviously it wasn't. The camera is irrelevant to this case. You can't say that for certain. Mr. Wright. Is the camera really relevant to this case? If you believe it is, you may continue with this line of questioning. But know this. If you find nothing with this, there will be consequences. Well, Mr. Wright, do you wish to press further about the camera? Sure, we'll take the consequences. This is make it or break it time. The camera is of utmost importance, Your Honor. It is perhaps the key to this entire case. Therefore, I will continue my line of questioning. Wow, maybe I went a little overboard there. Maybe you did. Very well. Miss Hart, you will testify to the court about the camera. Yeah, I hear ya. The camera was set up to take pictures of a meteor shower. Okay. Miss Hart, what made you choose that lake to photograph meteors? You know the fog gets thick on that lake. It's not very suited to stargazing. Yeah, well, you see, I guess I wasn't thinking too straight, huh? Mr. Wright, I will not have you badgering my witness because of her challenged intellect. Now wait a minute. Continue your testimony. You were saying how it was that you saw Edgeworth. No unnecessary comments, please. Alright. If there was a heavy fog, how would binoculars change that at all? What do you mean? Even binoculars can't see through fog. But you say you clearly saw him? I did, yeah. Enough. There is no room for doubt in her testimony. She sounded pretty doubtful to me. But I have to find a clear contradiction first. I don't care how many fun karmic objections I get. I'm going to find a hole in this testimony if it's the last thing I do. Alright. It was a cold night and the mist was thick as grits. Yep, that's fair enough. So once I was finished setting up my camera, I got back in the car. The camera was set up to take pictures of a meteor shower. Set to automatically take a picture when a loud noise is detected. Faces the lake. So that is basically wrong on 2 levels. First of all, why is it facing the lake if it's meant to photograph meteor showers? Second of all, why is it noise gated? Like, why does it react to noise? Meteor showers don't make noise. You are photographing shooting stars? That's a lie. Says who? Says me. I saw the camera you set up yesterday. It was pointed directly at the lake. You have to point the camera upwards to take photos of the stars, Miss Hart? Oof. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? The witness was not at the lake to photograph shooting stars, Your Honor. She was obviously after... Gordy. I remembered the name. Well then, what exactly was she photographing? Your Honor, take a look at this. What was Miss Hart trying to photograph at the lake? This. Miss Hart, this is what you were trying to photograph. What's this? A newspaper article? Gordy? Ah, the sighting at Gourd Lake. Well, Miss Hart? I never heard of no lake monster. You got proof or something? Let's see you prove that I was down at the lake trying to photograph this Gordy. Do I have proof? I don't really, do I? Well, I have it. Proof. Intriguing. Very well, let's see it. And no choking around this time, please. What is proof that the witness was trying to photograph Gordy the lake monster? Well, I don't know. But the game has made me get into this sort of mindset of I have to say I've got proof for everything, otherwise the game's gonna screw me. So, but I don't know. There's nothing really decisive here. Like, again, the only 2 things I can choose are the lake photo and the camera. Everything else, let me check the map again quickly. No. Everything else is not proof of anything, really. Set to automatically take a picture when a loud noise is detected. And the lake photo. I give him the camera again. The proof, Miss Hart, is your own camera. Your camera was set to take photos in response to loud noises, correct? Thus this photograph here taken when a gun fired on the lake. And here this article about Gordy. According to this article, Gordy made a loud noise when it emerged. What? That doesn't say it anywhere. How am I supposed to know that? Well, you were trying to photograph Gordy, weren't you? That's why you had set your camera to respond to loud noises. Order. I see. I too thought it was a little strange. Yeah, sure. Well, Miss Hart, you were camping there to try and take a photo of Gordy, weren't you? Yeah. Not bad. How old you lawyers that smart? So smart, boy. I was down there trying to photograph Gordy. You got me. So what? Uh-huh. That don't change what I saw, does it? Exactly. What you just used several precious minutes of our time to prove is nothing more than that the witness is an idiot who thinks monsters exist. Hey! But, as she so succinctly said, so what? It changes nothing. Not true. You were hiding the whole thing about Gordy for some reason, I know it. But what could it have been? Whatever it is, I'm getting to the bottom of this. Miss Hart, why did you hide the fact that you were searching for Gordy from the court? Please revise your testimony. Right, fine, I'll testify. It won't change nothing though. Something will change, it has to. And I'm going to spot it. Karma's worried about this. Actually, I'm not a research student at a university. I'm an investigative photographer. Imagine what a scoop it'd be if I got a picture of that monster. That's why I was camping out by the lake. But that's all I was hiding. When I heard the bang, I looked right straight out at that lake. There wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched that boat the whole time. Then I saw a flash near one of the man's hands, and I heard another gunshot. I was looking right at that boat the whole time, crossed my heart and hoped to fry it. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. The witness's testimony is unchanged from before. Whether she is a research student or a photographer has no bearing on this case. There is no need to waste more of our time with another pointless cross-examination. I claim the defense's right to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. When Karma's up to something, I know it. He doesn't want me to cross-examine her because... Why? Was there a contradiction? Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. You seem sure of yourself. You must have something in mind. Huh, that would be a first. Very funny. You understand that this is your last chance at a cross-examination, Mr. Wright? If there is no problem with the testimony this time, we will let the witness leave. I will announce my verdict at that time, Mr. Wright. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Alright. I mean, there's still the same contradiction with the free-fired bullets. She's only mentioning 2. Yeah. Well, we'll press everything anyway. Then what manner of person are you? Is that in any way relevant to the case? I'm not sure I'm highfalutin enough to be called a manner of anything. An investigative photographer? Yep. You get your photo and sell it to the press. It's that kind of business. Hey, I was taking pictures at my sister's graduation last year. And guess what? What? There was a UFO just hanging in the sky. A UFO? You know, an unidentified flying object. A UFO. That's when I had a sort of a revelation. I knew I should become an investigative photographer. I see. Kind of a shaky basis for a career. Alright. Is Gordy really all that newsworthy? Heck yeah, they even had him up on the TV. I'm not sure that appearing on the local news' Rumor of the Month segment qualifies. Last month's segment was Bigfoot sighted on Acorn Hill, I believe. Hey, they also had a picture of him in the newspaper, for real. Mr. Wright, this is one fight I do not believe you can win. Let's keep moving, shall we? Yes, Your Honor, we shall. That's where you put the automatic sensor on your camera? Yeah, borrowed it from a university professor. It analyzes every sound it picks up, and when it gets a bang, it snaps a shot. Yep. So, how many pictures has it taken so far? The only time the camera triggered was that night. I think it's time you told us why you felt you had to hide your true purpose at the lake. Heck, if word got out what I was up to, the lake would be swarming with competitors. Competitors? Yeah, second-rate shutterbugs trying to steal my scoop. Is that the only reason you were hiding the truth? Well, actually... Mr. Wright, I'll not have you asking questions with no relevance to this case. Whatever you say, Von Karma, I know you told her to keep quiet. Okay. Exactly what sort of sound was it? Well, I never heard one before, so I can't say for sure, but it sounded like a gunshot. It was a lot sharper sound than I would have expected. There wasn't much else to look at. Yet. I don't know, if she heard a bang and she thought Gordy was out there. I kind of doubt she'd waste any time looking at a boat. What? What do I do now? What are you giving me that look for? Definitely suspicious. Maybe it's time for some evidence. Witness, continue. Hold your hush, puppies, pups. I'm getting there. What do you mean, maybe it's time for some evidence? Do I have evidence against that? Should I bring up the camera again? Or the article? Alright, let's press her on that last one again. Was there nothing on the lake but the boat at that time? Huh? Wait, so you're thinking maybe it was shot from some other place? I don't think so, no. Lake was smooth as glass and nobody was on the shore neither. I better find some sort of contradiction in this testimony. I won't be able to beat Von Karma any other way. There has to be something. Alright. So Phoenix basically already told me where I have to pick out a contradiction. Oh, it's further on. This one. Probably the article, right? Right? The article or the camera? Let's go with the article, shall we? Miss Hart, were you really looking at that boat? What's with you? Of course I was looking at it. It was the only thing out there. Any normal person would be looking at it. I agree, any normal person would. But you are far from normal. What? Y'all want to step over here and say that? You're camping at the lake to take a picture of Gordy. Think about it. What would you do if you heard a loud noise? You'd be scanning the lake for any sound of Gordy, that's what. You wouldn't give the boat a second thought. Ah! Order. Continue, Mr. Wright. You testified that you were watching the boat through binoculars. However, you wouldn't need binoculars to watch that boat. You needed them to search for Gordy, and that's what you were doing. Well? Well, now that you'll mention it, I did sort of take my binoculars and kind of scan the lake a bit. I mean, Gordy might be out there and all. Miss Hart, are you saying that you were not watching the boat then? Sorry, y'all. I wasn't fibbing, really. I was just, how far, you know? I could be a witness to a murder and all. I kinda got excited. I was sure I was watching that boat. Till now. This is totally uncalled for. But hey. You got a photograph. You got proof. Still, we can't see who's shooting who in this. Right. That's why I took this photo and... Witness, that's enough. No, let her continue. She took this photo and did what? I'm sure she was gonna say she enhanced it and zoomed into it. You've had a long day. Shut your pie hole. Shut my what? What was she going to say? She took the photo and what? Wait a second. She even had a photograph to prove it. But you really can't tell from the photo who's shooting. That's why she said she's going to enlarge the photo. She said it'll drop the quality a mite, but should let us see who's who. She enlarged that photo. Why won't Von Karma let her show it? I've got a hunch. I bet that enlarged photo shows something bad for Von Karma. This is my chance. If I'm wrong though, it'll mean prison for Edgeworth, or worse. What should I do? Yeah, make her show it. Because otherwise it means prison for Edgeworth either way. Miss Hart, look at this photograph. You enlarged this photograph, did you not? Yeah, I did. Why has that enlargement not been presented to the court? Because it does not exist. What are y'all talking about? You were the one who told me not to show it in court in the first place. You old fool. Take that, Von Karma. What's the meaning of this, Mr. Von Karma? Miss Hart. Show the photo to the court. Show us the enlargements. The prosecution objects to the submission of this evidence. Objection denied. The witness will show the enlargement to the court. Here it is. We still cannot see who is firing in this. It could be the defendant, or maybe it's not. Regardless, I'll accept this as evidence. Make photo added to the court record. Alright. Edgeworth, which hand is your dominant hand? Is it the left? Because the guy shooting the gun is clearly left-handed. Happy now, Mr. Wright? There has to be something. You asked for the enlargement, you got the enlargement. And little good it has done any of us. That's why I requested you not show it. I suppose this means that the cross-examination is over, obviously. Then I would like to close the cross-examination of Miss Lotta Hart. And none too soon. That was a flagrant waste of my time. Mr. Von Karma, do you have anything to add? I stated everything I needed to when this trial began. Decisive evidence, a decisive witness. What else could possibly be required? Nothing, of course. Something a bit more decisive, please? Then I believe it is time for me to declare my verdict. Wait, it's not supposed to go like this. There has to be a clue in this photo somewhere. This is bad, real bad. What should I do? I mean, not wait and see. What else? I mean, the two things that stick out to me are left-handed and this piece of clothing under the coat. I don't know why it just sticks out. It looks like something Edgeworth would wear. Object to the enlargement. I wouldn't object to the enlargement. Wait, Your Honor, this evidence. I believe we have spent enough time talking about evidence. Indeed. We've heard opinions on every piece of evidence but this enlargement. I see no point in retracing our steps. This is bad, real bad. What should I do? I mean, I meant to provide the enlargement as evidence anyway. Your Honor, there is something decidedly strange with this enlargement. What might that be? Mr. Wright. Actually, let me have another look. Can I check the not enlarged photo, please? No? Alright. You will show the court what you mean. What about this photo is strange? Okay, here goes nothing. I'll show the judge what's strange about this photo. Am I? I mean, as I said, there's two things, but let me have another think about this. Is there anything other than that? I think I'm gonna go with left-handed for the first one. Here, Your Honor. The shooter. I'm not sure I understand. What about the shooter is strange? Look at the hand holding your pistol, Your Honor. The hand? That hand directly contradicts another piece of evidence. This man's left hand does what? Let me show you. I'll show you evidence that left hand contradicts. Oh. There we go. Bears prints from Edgeworth's right hand. Okay. The evidence is clear. The man in this photograph is holding that pistol in his left hand. However, the prints on the murder weapon were from Edgeworth's right hand. Ergo, the man shooting the pistol in this photograph is not Mr. Edgeworth. Now that everyone in the courtroom has quieted down, I would like to reconvene this court of law. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You have given us definitive proof today. We now know that it was not Mr. Edgeworth who fired the pistol that night. However, this leaves us with a rather large problem. If Mr. Edgeworth didn't do it, then who shot our victim? Precisely. As we have seen, there were no other people on the lake that night. Who but the defendant could have shot the victim? Well... Larry, of course. Miss Hart? No. I mean, theoretically... I mean, Edgeworth was saying something about a suicide before, so I'm pretty sure this is the right answer. But theoretically, could Miss Hart have done it? She was... she could have been there. The photograph would have been taken either way. Then again, why would she... why would she set up a photograph of herself? Okay, the victim. There's only one explanation remaining. The man who shot the victim was none other than the victim himself. Order, order. So, you're saying that the victim committed suicide? Yes, Your Honor. I can think of no other explanation. Indeed, that does seem to be the only remaining option. Of course you'd object. I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright, but suicide is out of the question. What? An examination of the victim's wound reveals the distance at which he was shot. Did he forge that? The distance? The victim was clearly shot from further than a meter away. Then again, that is relatively easy to prove. At least, like, maybe not so much the difference in distance from, like, the difference between, like, 10 meters and 20 meters, but you can tell whether someone was shot at point blank range relatively easily. A meter, that's 3 feet. Okay, Phoenix. There is no way it could have been suicide. Order, order. Mr. von Karma, are you sure of the accuracy of your data? Of course, I had already considered the possibility of suicide, you see. Okay. I see. Very well, allow me to state my opinion. Considering the situation, the shooter had to be the defendant, Mr. Edgeworth. However, the prints on the gun reveal that the shooter was not Mr. Edgeworth. This is a conundrum. Therefore, I would like to suspend proceedings for this trial for the day. The court orders the defense and the prosecution to further investigate this matter. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. That is all. This court is adjourned. Alright, we made it through day 1. December the 26th, 1:15 PM. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Whew, that was a close one. Hey, don't you have anything to say? No, I have yet to be declared innocent, right? Well, yeah, but what happened out there on that lake anyway? If he didn't commit suicide, then who? The shooter was about a meter away too. What? Don't give me that look. I did not kill him. I was just kidding around. Look, I'm going to go check on Maya. Oh, right. What? Tell her something for me. What? Tell her to watch what she says in court. That's all. Would it kill you to just state how you really feel with a thanks, Edgeworth? It would, probably, yes. I requisitioned a transcript of Lotte's entire testimony. I thought it might give me some ammunition for the trial tomorrow. Of course she didn't see the shooter, so the only part of her testimony that stood was the bang she heard. Alright. So we're gonna use that the 2 gunshots versus the 3 that the gun actually fired in tomorrow's trial, I suppose. To be continued.